Alright, so this week we added database into our app. So let's go to data, SQLite service, and this is what we created, right? So this STM variable is just gonna later return to us the version of the SQLite database that we are using. I just want to see it to see if the app is working correctly. And this is where our database file is gonna be. It's gonna be in the root folder test.db. Since this is SQLite, everything is our database just gonna be contained in one file. And this is our constructor where it's basically for this line, what it does is it's establish a connection between the app and the database. And here it is, pretty straightforward. Open the connection. Um, and so since we have built a connection over here, this is where we actually use our connection in this connect db function. Basically what it does is it's just gonna connect to the database and get the version of the database and put it into string type, and then it's going to return to us the version. And so since we are using table database, so we're going to need to create tables for our inside our database, right? So what it does here is this is SQL command. Long story short, it's gonna look into our database. If there's no table there already, it's gonna create one. Um, and this is just to execute whatever that we put in here, up here. And inside each table, there are different information or data, and in this context, we call it members. So this function helps us to handle with members. And it's gonna say for each member it's gonna have two variables. One is name, one's password, and I give the value of Kim and CDU in here for now, just to test. And this is how we query our data down here. So what I do here is basically I will select everything from the member. Limit to one here means I'm just gonna select one member. And because for now I only have one, so I mean I don't really have to specify only one, because right now we only have one member, but this is just for the future when we have more members. Then yeah. And okay, so this SQLite data reader help us to read the data from the database. And this while loop help us to read through the different members. And I just gonna read the members and put it in the string format and save it in name and password. And then we're gonna return it. We're gonna return the data we get from our database, and I'll store it in this name and this password, which actually belongs to the member data. And where is that? We have created it here in this member data.cs. Okay, so this is what it is. And now what else? We have to go to login.blazor as well. So remember, since we created this SQLite service.cs, we need to connect it to our pages, right? So this is how we do it. We just inject the service we just created in here. And then down here, we call the functions that we created in this SQLite service.cs. Connect database, create table, create new member. They are all in here. They're all here. Create new member, create table, connect database, right? And then one more place to worry about is in our startup.cs. same concept as last week. Every time you create a new service, you have to register it. Otherwise, when your app starts, it's not going to know where to look. So this is what we added in. And once we have all of that in place, we can just run our app. So you can just do .NET watch run, and it should be running. Mine's already running, so let me show you. Okay, so here's the app, and if we go to the login page, and if I click login, and you can see Kim and CDU, which is the value that we actually gave it over here in SQLite service, and there they are. So right now, it's still the values that I gave because we don't have a sign up page yet, so we don't have flexible data that the actually come from the user. So next week we're gonna add that, and we'll have the actual data that any user can input themselves, and we can have more things we can do with our app. And of course, we don't want to always just show the password in plain text like this, but for now this is just for testing. So yeah. And as you can see, so when I run my app, there is a new file that was created for me, which is this test.db file, which actually what we specify up here. Please save all of my database related file in this test.db file right here.